What's up, everybody? Jay LaValle, Joe Wrestling. This is Saturday Suples, another favorite of mine. Today, I'm going to be showing takedowns to freestyle turns. So there's a transition involved in that. It's not that we're just taking somebody down and hoping we get a turn or hoping we get a leg lace or a gut wrench. We're working to transition in the period between the takedown and the turn. So it's a very critical moment, if you're trying to rack up points. And that's the thing in freestyle. You need to try and accumulate points in bunches. It's hard to score multiple points if you're just moving from one move to the next. And you have to be transitioning from one move to the next. So let me just show a really simple one. This is going to be a double leg. So first things first, I hit my double leg. I get in. As soon as I get in, what I'm going to do is whatever side my head's on, all right, I want to take the leg that I'm on and cross it over the opposite side. So since my head's on the left side, on my left side, I want to scoop. Basically, I want to take the same side hand, drop it down to the ankle, and now I want to start running my feet towards the opposite way, basically cross that leg in the process. All right. So it should look like this. You hit your double, and then you're crossing it. Legs across, ankles across, and now you're taking them through the lace. All right, you could go either way, but I would prefer to go away from the head. So double leg, I can go the other way and start crossing it this way and rolling through. The big thing is you don't have enough time there to, make it nice, make it pretty, and make sure it's nice and tight because, your opponent's going to defend you because you're trying to catch them before you even get a takedown and roll them right into that turn. So hypothetically, you're looking to score 2 for the takedown and then 2 for the turn, and hopefully eventually you're going to roll them up for a bunch of turns. And who knows, you might take them from their feet and knock them right to their back, all right, which scores 4 points immediately. And then you go into your rolls, all right, and that makes that tech fall 10-point differential a lot quicker. Again, from this angle is good. You can see it, but I get in. Now, if I want to go that way, as soon as I get here, I'm going to lower this hand. I'm starting to run. I cross it and watch. I'm going to scoop that leg. As soon as they're crossed, I'm going to scoop it. Oh, right here. And now I'm still rolling that same direction that way. One little trick also, sometimes you'll get stuck. Like sometimes you get here and then you get sort of stuck right here, right? One little trick, you take your chest and drive it over, which causes their bone on bone. And now you basically just punch your hips under, load them on your hips, and now take them through. So that is just a basic double to a tradition. I'd say that's a traditional ankle lace. It's not even, it's not even a leg lace. We're taught leg laces basically when somebody is in a static position. It's really hard to get. And now that there's been no forced parterre for a long time, but there's no forced parterre, you have to learn how to do the transition. So that's one. Number 2, I was talking to you guys about, getting to a double and then taking them from their feet to their back and then rolling up. This is a good one to basically put them right to their back or to their butt and then lace them up. So same shot, you get to your double. Same shot, I get to my double. Now all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna basically turn this mid-level attack into a low break. All right, most times they'll probably hit their butt and then lean up so they don't get exposed. But sometimes they'll expose. All right, but once you hit them here, now it's the same thing. You just cross the legs. As soon as you're here, you get across, you start rolling as soon as you can. All right. Let's go over here. And again, you notice when I hit, I look my level. Now I'm all the way down by their laces, their ankles, cross them, roll them. And you can keep rolling more than once, obviously. But that's, you're looking for, again, points after points. You're trying to accumulate points in bunches. And, because every restart, every whistle start, and this is what drives me nuts about folk style, all your action stops. The thing about wrestling, you want to keep the action going. Wrestling is all about creating action and creating scoring positions. And in folk style, you're constantly going out of bounds and resetting, which is frustrating. And that's why I love Freestyle Greco. You can create more action, right? Not to say you don't go out of bounds when you reset, but if you're going out of bounds, somebody's scoring. Somebody's normally scoring. All right, so again, let me do this angle. So you see what's happening in here. I get in, boom. As soon as I get here, go on my level, boom. All right, and that's how, let me do a quick speed. And that's how it should look. And there's going to be some fight, obviously, but you're in the driver's seat here. Now I'm going to keep going. Out of habit, I keep lifting them, get tall, but you're in the driver's seat. This angle. It's important, again, not to just do this, It's important not to do this. Right? Because in freestyle, you're most likely against somebody who's really experienced, you're most likely going to get flipped through. And even though the points might end up being mine, it still is a technique that ends up creating too much of a chance to give up points. Whether it's the official you have, whether it's the possibility that they actually stop your shot, change direction, and throw you through, which is bad. That's 4 points for them. All right. So that's why when I hit this double, I'm not blasting through them. We're taught to blast through. And you'll know if you can run through, and this is the difference. So, but I would prefer this when I hit them, right? That's 8-0 right there within a matter of, a few seconds. So that is number 2 off that leg lace or the ankle lace. Now I'm going to stick with laces. A traditional leg lace is when their knees are together, somebody's knees are together, and you cross one over like this. This is an ankle lace. All it is when their feet are crossed or their legs are crossed. Very different than a leg lace. So don't get it confused. And it might confuse you because I might say it's a leg lace, but it's a lace. Next one, single leg. So now this is a more traditional leg lace because the position puts you in it. Turn this way. So it's going to be off the single leg, just a basic single leg. After I hit my single, watch where I'm all set up. I hit my single, look at where I'm set up. Shoulders right behind the butt. I'm on my toes, I'm pressuring down, my hands above the knees, you know, and now it's just your traditional lace. You know, I scoop the one, load it up, I walk over, I block it with my far knee, I scoop, and now I run my chest over the legs to tighten it up, and now I punch my knees under, load it, and arch through. All right, so this is the more traditional lace, leg lace, that people are gonna probably recognize. We'll do this angle. The big thing on that traditional is I like to tack both knees. Some people like to tack one leg with both arms. I don't necessarily like that because you lose the pressure. You want your shoulder right below their buttocks, all right? And if you release that far knee, you know, you're attacking both knees, above the knees. If you release the far one, it releases some of the pressure. So I prefer to attack above the knees on both and make sure you have the right pressure down. So you're here. You're basically here. Grab your toes, your shoulders there, you're above the knees, and then you scoop this one. All right. You walk and block, scoop, and now roll. All right. So that's your traditional one. I'm going to show you one more sort of traditional, more like the one we just did, but the transition. You know, you see with all these so far, there is a transition point, and the takedown is designed specifically to go right into a turn. All right. This is a Fireman's. This is one of my favorite ones to teach. It's gonna be a little tricky with the dummy, but you know, I'll make it work. So it's gonna be from a Fireman position, high crotch, or you know, or they lock around your chest. So if they're locked here, and you just hit a high crotch, I'm gonna hook the elbow like this. All right, I'm gonna take my high crotch position. I'm gonna basically rotate them up on my shoulders in the air here. So I change my knees, rotate them in the air, and now I dump them off. I sort of like spike them on their head here, and then I roll down their legs. And now look at this. Again, I'm in position. As soon as I roll through, I'm in position to lace again. All right. Even though your head ends up being on the other side, that's okay because you just sneak your shoulder in the right position. All right. But that also allows you already to block that near leg. So lifting this one and punching it through with that bottom leg becomes really easy. Let me do the whole setup again. I crotch, they chest lock me, I elbow hook, I load them. You have to load them up. Now, I'm gonna bring my outside knee down where my inside knee is and rotate. All right, this little action alone creates this dumping action. You see where his head's going now? I tuck my shoulder, tuck, roll down the legs, and now I'm in position. So, you know, actually I'll do one more. I'll do one more from here, but that's 4 different ways to get to a lace. You know, I'm not gonna say leg lace, ankle lace, a lace, all right? The last one, the 5th one. This is gonna be from, this is gonna be from my head. Basically, it's gonna be like a high crotch position, but your head's gonna rotate. I'm gonna go from high C position, but my head's gonna go to the back side, and I'm gonna change my hands. So you gotta watch carefully here. So my head lowers to here. This hand, you know, I'm high up on the thigh, but this hand's gonna lower. This hand's gonna go down by the ankle and lift. Boom. And now look, it's loaded. That foot is loaded. And so from here, there's a couple things I can do. I could potentially just step over and do this dive through roll right here. Coach Cole showed me that one a long time ago. But the one I want to show you guys, this way. You can see what I'm doing with this leg that I'm attacking. High crotch, right here. I'm loading this up, and look where my head is, it's tight. Now remember, the one I just showed, I stepped through, blocked, and I basically just dove through, right? But this one, if that leg is, he can't do it, I'm gonna get my bottom hand attacking, and then my other hand basically grabs my own wrist, and I've crossed it. Legs are basically crossed. I step over, and now I can tighten that up and lace him through. Go. Here we go, this angle. So I'll do both of them again. I'll do the kick through. That's the kick through. And this is the lace. There's the lace. So that's 6 now. I gave you 6 different ones. Again, there's many more. I mean, I think those are some good fundamental common ones that use, well, they're not really common, but you know, if you know what I mean, effective. You know, they're not common, you know, because only the best are doing them, and that's the thing. You know, you need to be doing what the best are doing, and then drill it constantly, improve, and pick 1 or 2 of those. You don't need them all, but you should learn them all, and then find out which ones you like, find out which ones you're good at, find out which ones are most effective for you. And it might only be one, you know, out of all, you know, I like them all, but out of all the ones that I just showed you, man, maybe only the very first one is the most effective one that works for me. I've tried all the other ones, and I like them, and they work at a high level. But the first one where you lower your leg across the legs and go, I was always good at that. And not to say I'm not good at these other ones, but I didn't put the time in to them. So that's it on leg laces. I'm gonna move on to gut wrench. Only a couple gut wrench here. Gut wrench. So number one is just the double, and the double again. Your double is a very deadly weapon. It's one of the most common leg attacks there is. At every level. And remember what I said though. Many people are going to run through the shot, and that's what gets them in trouble in freestyle, especially because that's when your opponent has the opportunity to flip you through, and then if the official or team of officials, you have three officials on the mat, if they all get together and say, well, they stop the motion, they get 4 points. That might be a hard deficit to overcome, especially when somebody goes up 4 points. If you don't score a 4-pointer, you might have to score 5 times. You might have to score 5 push-ups if you can't score a takedown on that person. So it's not an easy point deficit to overcome. Obviously, it's achievable, but you want to be putting the points on the board and not making mistakes and giving away points. That to me, that's like giving away points. So on your double, we're looking for double to a gut. And remember, you want to be able to hit these transitions and be confident about them. You don't want to be hitting these things and second guessing yourself, and then you don't even get the takedown. So that's super important. It takes time and drilling to put into all this to make it work. So double, very simple. After I hit my double, I need to start running my hips around the corner, all right? And I hit my double. Look at this, my hips are already here. You see how quick I bounced up off my knee? I hit my double. All right, and I already have this hand. I got both legs, but my bottom hand is already on that, it's like a tight waist already. All right, so from here, obviously, they're either gonna go tripod or they're gonna belly down. So it doesn't matter really if they go tripod or if they belly down. I just gotta keep running my hips around here. And now I'm loading them up. I step, take them through. So that can be a 4-point move, and it can be very explosive 4-point move. You just don't want them, you don't want to give them anything. Like, you don't want to let them belly down and then hit the gut. You want to hit this thing before they can even readjust and get set again. All right. So that's basically a 4-point. That's a Greco throw basically. So you're creating a Greco throw, but it's a gut wrench. All that is a gut wrench. Now, most good guys are going to go, as soon as you hit them in a double and you're around, they're going to go here. It doesn't matter. You still got them out, and that's still 4 points. All right. So I'll do. All right, so that's when they have not bellied down yet, either tripod or they're still on their feet. All right, so I'll show you the same exact one, except this time they belly down. And if you need, now I'm not going to go into the details of how to do a gut wrench, but if you need details on it, I covered gut wrench a few weeks ago, so that video is in the library. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to cover the lace mechanics. So this is when they go flat all the way. I hit my double, they go flat. I've already achieved my bottom hand tight waist. Now my other hand just comes in. I punch my knee. I arch through. So that's your gut, traditional gut off a double. All right. Let me show this. This is a single. It's going to be a single. So your guts are the ones, I was always a gut wrench person. I never hit leg laces. Very rarely. My laces always came off. My laces were always the ankle laces off a takedown, not necessarily from like a traditional lace position when you're flat. But this one, is effective to set up your gut, and it's off a single. Rule of thumb is your doubles are good for your guts, and your singles are good for your laces. Well, this is setting it up. So I hit a single, hit a flat. Now, remember, if you've got good pressure here, your opponent's way to defend a leg lace is to do this, basically. It's to bring their butt up. But what that does in the process, if they bring their butt up, I'm hopping right to that gut. That's all it is. So hop into that gut, and I'll just punch my knee. Again, driving my feet, arching through. So very simple. Single. I load it, and come up, hit the gut. Hit the gut. So that's another sneaky way to get your gut wrench. Again, I was a gut wrench only person. I wasn't confident in my lace abilities. And lacing is hard. If you can't get the lace where the legs crossed off a takedown, it's hard to just setting it up from scratch. So that's it for laces for now. I'm going to show you a couple more. This is a high gut. It's going to be a high gut. Takedown doesn't matter. I'll just do a duck under. This time I duck under, they go flat. Now, high guts are excellent for wrestlers who are tall, lanky, aren't confident in either a normal gut wrench or a leg lace. High guts are great, and I wish I used them more, but I have short arms, and for me, it just didn't, I didn't feel confident in high guts. So, but as soon as they belly down, instead of getting a really deep arm in, all you need to do is, especially up a duck under, I just need to have one hand up by their neck to begin with. So if I duck, boom, look, this hand's already there. I'm not bringing it down here for a tight waist. This hand's already at the head. They belly down, right? They belly down. So I got one hand at the neck, the other hand comes in at the neck. Now, traditionally, all you have to do, I can, if you're tall, you can do this a lot better than I can, but my head goes right at the back of their head, so I'm basically pinching their head between my lock and my head, not my forehead. Right here. I'm going to stand up, so I'm pressuring, and then I lift them, I guide them all the way up. Now from here, you have to do one or two things. You have to take this arm out, you have to take this arm out. So pick a side. All you're going to do is bump that elbow up with your elbow like this. You just jam your elbow in and then step there. Now, this is the thing. You don't want to just pull them like this on top. Now, I see a lot of athletes do all that work, because that is still work. Do all that work, and then you basically just pull them on top of you, which is not correct. So watch this motion. Once I get there, I pressure my head, I got my lock, and it's a finger lock. All right, so it's loose. Step up, I lift, I take the elbow out, basically jamming that forward. Now I step. I'm blocking the armpit. Now watch I'm falling forward and I'm going to pull them through. And I'm still pulling them here. All right. So that's the high gut. You have to take out that post, and it can be either side. When you're in, all you're doing is bumping that elbow. Bump your elbow, replace it with your knee. Do the whole thing. All right, so I'd say that's your traditional high gut. Second high gut. Contrary to, we call this a high gut because of the lock, not because we step up. Some people get it confused. They think it's a high gut because we're stepping up and getting tall. That's not the case, because I can also do this. I duck, go down, I get my hands, again, right below their chin, and I stick my head right in the back of their head, and basically just jam them down. Now, the thing I'm not going to do, which somebody like me, I actually did use this one. Somebody like me, I had a hard time standing up because, number one, my arms aren't long, and so it was hard for me, once I had a lock and my head down here, to get my butt up in the air and stand up. So, same principle though, once I get this lock, pick a side. I'm not going to step up. I'm going to take my elbow, jam it. You see that? Now my knee goes there. Instead of my leg, my knee goes there. And the same thing, right? I'm going to drive forward. I just took their post away. I have to drive forward, and I'm going to pull them through. I'm not going to pull them on top. I'm going to pull them in sort of a diagonal direction. And actually, no, my back foot is going to go right in the hip bone. So here, I knock it out, I put my knee there, and then this foot goes right in the hip bone. And now I can drive, pull them all the way through. All right. One more. And there's a little arch bridge if you need it, but I would say if you're doing all those other little things, knocking the elbow out, putting your knee there, driving your back foot into the hip pocket, then you don't really need to arch. And somebody asked this to me last week. Well, do you need to arch on a gut wrench? I would say yes. However, once you get good at it and you load somebody up in your hip pocket, there's no reason to, because they're done. This is getting off topic, but the only reason, if I need to arch, like if I didn't arch and I'm here, is to not bail out. This drives me nuts too, because I see athletes with great gut wrenches. They get here, and then they do this. They bail out. They let go, and now they're on bottom, or they're gonna get pinned. This is where your back arch comes through. If you're stuck here, maybe they're posting their arms out. You get stuck here, top of your head, push them off, pop them off. All right. So that's a mindset right there. The best athletes are not going to panic when they get, when their opponent is like this in the gut wrench. If somebody's like this on the gut wrench, you just keep popping through. My very first senior level freestyle match was against NCAA champ Troy Nickerson, and he got me a super, super tight gut wrench off a takedown. But I went like this, and I held him there. But guess what? He did not panic. He popped me through. It was inconsequential. Like, somebody else might bail through that position, but Troy, obviously, he's experienced. And if I was smarter, I would have hip heist there and caught him on his back. But, you know, his gut wrench was super tight, and I could just do enough to hold him there for a couple seconds before he popped me through. So popping through, you know, on any of your techniques, you know, even your lace, super important, all right? But that's about it. You know, I wanted to cover some transitions. You know, there's many more, and maybe I'll end up doing another session of transitions, you know, with a Suples dummy. Again, if you don't have a dummy, or better yet, if you have a partner, an actual real person, put this stuff to work right now, because, you know, the Freestyle Greco season is basically already here. And, you know, it's 2021. You know, we lost the season last year. You got to get the work in now. If you don't have a Suples dummy and you don't have a partner, you can still go through the motions, you know, the shadow drilling of this stuff. Obviously, you're not going to get the same resistance with a dummy that you can get with a dummy or a live person, but, you know, be innovative. Grab a heavy bag. You know, I used to use a heavy bag as my gut wrench tool when I didn't have a partner. You know, use a bag of rice. Duct tape a couple bags of rice to, you know, those bags of rice are 30 pounds. Duct tape a couple of them together. There's 60 pounds, and, you know, you've got an apparatus to help you, you know, train. And again, I realize many people are still not in a wrestling room because, you know, their school shut down, their club shut down. You know, you're being cautious with COVID still. You know, I still am. I haven't gone anywhere, and, you know, I think it's important, though, to be innovative and still use what you have to advance yourself. So thanks again for watching. This will get uploaded tonight. And if you guys have any questions before, you know, our Sunday class tomorrow, you know, let me know. Otherwise, hope you guys have a good night.